A lot can change in 3 years. Seriously, think about where you were 3 years ago. Different habits, different mindset, maybe different friends, different goals, maybe even a completely different version of yourself. And yet, when it comes to money, most people assume real wealth takes decades, so they stop trying before they even begin. You'll hear things like, just invest for 40 years and eventually you'll retire comfortably. Or on the other side, you'll see influencers online claiming they became millionaires in 6 months with some secret crypto strategy or automated business model. Most people end up stuck between those two extremes, too impatient for the slow path, too skeptical of the fast path. But here's the truth nobody talks about enough. You do not need to become a millionaire overnight to completely change your financial life. 3 years is enough time to build serious momentum, enough time to increase your income, enough time to escape paycheck-to-paycheck stress, enough time to build investments, skills, and financial confidence that most people never develop. Not fantasy wealth, not private jet money, real wealth. The kind where bills stop feeling scary, where emergencies don't destroy your life, where your future finally starts looking bigger than your next paycheck. And in this video, I want to show you the realistic roadmap to building wealth in the next 3 years. Not the flashy internet version, the version that actually works. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, investing, and why some people quietly build wealth while others stay financially stuck for years. If you're trying to improve your finances, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. All right. Let's start with the first truth most people avoid hearing. Wealth is not built from one big opportunity. It's built from leverage. And when people hear the word leverage, they usually think of debt or risky investing. But real leverage is much simpler than that. Leverage means creating results bigger than the effort you put in once. For example, imagine 2 people working the exact same job making the exact same income. Person A spends every extra hour watching random videos, scrolling social media, and buying small things that make them temporarily feel better. Person B spends 1 year learning a valuable skill, maybe sales, maybe video editing, maybe coding, maybe marketing, maybe content creation. At first, their lives look identical, but after 1 year, person B now has a skill that can increase income for years. That's leverage. And this is important because most people focus too much on saving tiny amounts of money while completely ignoring the thing that changes finances the fastest: income growth. Look, saving money matters. Of course it does. But if your income stays the same forever, wealth building becomes painfully slow. Let's do simple math. Imagine someone saves $200 per month. Honestly, that's already better than a lot of people. Over 1 year, that's $2,400. Over 3 years, that's $7,200. Now, if they invest it consistently, maybe it grows to around $8,000 or $9,000 depending on the market. That's solid progress, but it probably doesn't completely transform their life. Now compare that to someone who increases their income by even $2,500 per month over those same 3 years. That changes everything, because now they can save more, invest more, pay off debt faster, handle emergencies easier. This is why the first stage of wealth building is almost never about investing first. It's about increasing your earning ability. Your skills are your first investment. And honestly, this is where a lot of people underestimate themselves. 3 years is a long time. 3 years is enough time to completely change careers, learn high-income skills, build a side business, grow a YouTube channel, start freelancing, move into management, create multiple income streams. People dramatically overestimate what they can do in 1 month, but underestimate what they can do in 3 years. And the crazy part? Most income growth doesn't happen gradually. It happens suddenly after long periods of invisible work. Someone spends months learning a skill with no results. Then one opportunity changes everything. A better job, a bigger client, a promotion, a business finally gaining traction. From the outside, it looks instant, but it wasn't instant. It was compounding effort. And compounding effort is one of the biggest secrets behind wealth. Now here's where things get dangerous, because increasing income alone does not automatically create wealth. In fact, some of the highest earners are completely broke. Why? Lifestyle inflation. This is the trap almost everybody falls into. You get a raise, and suddenly your spending rises to match it. Bigger apartment, new car payment, more online shopping, more subscriptions, more expensive restaurants. And the weird part is, your brain adapts incredibly fast. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Basically, your lifestyle upgrades stop feeling exciting much quicker than you expect. The new phone feels amazing for 2 weeks. Then it becomes normal. The luxury apartment feels exciting for 3 months. Then it becomes your baseline. And suddenly the things that once felt luxurious now feel necessary. That's how people making good money still feel financially trapped, because every income increase disappears into lifestyle upgrades. Which is why the second step to building wealth in 3 years is this: lock in your savings rate before your lifestyle expands. Here's one rule that changed the way I think about money. Every time your income increases, save or invest at least half of the increase automatically. If your income increases by $2,000 per month, immediately direct $1,000 toward investing, savings, or debt reduction. The other half, enjoy it. Seriously. You don't need to live miserably to build wealth. That's another myth online. Some people act like financial success means eating rice and beans for 20 years and never enjoying life. That's not sustainable for most people. The goal is balance. Enjoy your life, while still building your future. Now, once your income starts growing and your savings rate improves, this is where investing becomes powerful. Because investing turns your work into something permanent. Without investing, you're constantly starting from zero. You work, you earn money, you spend it. Repeat. But investing changes the game because your money starts working alongside you. Historically, broad market investing has been one of the most reliable long-term wealth builders available. The S&P 500 has historically averaged around 10% annual returns over long periods, although short-term markets always fluctuate. And no, investing isn't exciting most of the time. That's actually the point. Real wealth building is usually boring. Consistency beats excitement. Most people lose money because they constantly chase excitement. They jump between trends, panic during downturns, or search for shortcuts. Meanwhile, disciplined investors quietly keep buying month after month, whether the market feels exciting or not. And this is where the momentum starts becoming real. Imagine this. You increase your income over 3 years. You avoid massive lifestyle inflation. And you consistently invest $1,500 every month. That's $54,000 invested in 3 years alone. And depending on growth, market performance, and additional income increases, you could realistically cross $60,000 or more. Now, for some people watching, that might not sound huge, but here's what matters. That level of financial momentum changes your entire life. Because once you build that foundation, the next 3 years become dramatically easier. This is the part nobody explains well online. Wealth is slow until suddenly it's not. At first, progress feels invisible. Your first few $1,000s feel small. Your investments barely grow. Your savings account moves painfully slowly. But eventually momentum kicks in. Your income rises. Your investments compound. Your confidence grows. Opportunities become easier to spot. And suddenly money stops feeling like survival. It starts feeling like control. I remember talking to a friend about this a few years ago. Back then, he was stressed constantly. Every unexpected expense felt like a disaster. Car problems, medical bills, rent increases. Everything created anxiety because there was no margin, so he made a simple decision. For 3 years, he stopped chasing shortcuts and focused on fundamentals. He learned better skills, changed jobs twice, started freelancing on weekends, avoided buying things just to impress people, invested consistently every month. Nothing flashy, no Lamborghini mindset, no fake entrepreneur nonsense, just discipline. 3 years later, his income had nearly doubled. He had investments growing automatically every month, emergency savings, less stress, more freedom. And the most important part, He finally felt like time was working for him instead of against him. That's real wealth. Not looking rich online, not pretending to be successful, not renting luxury cars for Instagram photos. Real wealth is stability, options, freedom, peace of mind. And honestly, I think social media has confused a lot of people about what wealth actually looks like. Most wealthy people do not look like internet influencers. A lot of financially successful people live surprisingly normal lives, but what they have is flexibility. They can survive emergencies. They can leave toxic jobs. They can invest in opportunities. They can take risks because they built financial stability first. And this leads to another important point. Building wealth in 3 years is less about becoming rich and more about escaping financial fragility. That's the real first level of wealth. Getting to the point where one bad month no longer destroys your entire life. And if you can do that in the next 3 years, you're already ahead of most people. Now there's one more thing that matters a lot here. Environment. The people around you influence your financial behavior more than you think. If everyone around you spends recklessly, normalizes debt, and constantly buys things for status, eventually that mindset starts feeling normal. But if you spend time around people improving themselves financially, building businesses, investing, learning skills, suddenly your standards change too. And no, this doesn't mean you need rich friends. It means you need better influences, books, podcasts, communities, educational content, people who think long-term, because wealth building is partly financial, but it's also psychological. You need to become someone capable of handling money well. That identity shift matters. Someone who builds wealth consistently thinks differently about money. They stop asking, "What can I buy?" and start asking, "How can I build more income? How can I create assets? How can I make future me financially stronger?" That mindset change quietly changes everything. So if you want to build wealth in the next 3 years, here's the realistic roadmap. First, focus aggressively on increasing your income. Your earning ability is your greatest financial asset early on. Second, avoid lifestyle inflation. Just because you make more money doesn't mean you need to spend all of it. Third, automate your investing. Make wealth building happen consistently instead of emotionally. Fourth, build an emergency fund so life stops knocking you backwards every few months. Fifth, stay patient long enough for momentum to appear, because this is the truth most people struggle accepting. Financial success usually looks boring while it's happening. No dramatic movie moments, no overnight transformation, just repeated smart decisions over and over again. But eventually those decisions compound into a completely different life. And look, 3 years from now is coming no matter what. The question is whether future you will look back grateful that you started or frustrated that you kept waiting for the perfect moment. Because the perfect moment almost never comes. Wealth is usually built by ordinary people making slightly better decisions consistently for long periods of time. That's it. And honestly, that should be encouraging, because it means you do not need to be a genius. You do not need to be lucky. You do not need to go viral online. You just need a better strategy and enough consistency to let time work in your favor. If this video helped you think differently about money, hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I'm curious, where do you want your finances to be 3 years from today? Let me know in the comments, because the decisions you make this year might completely change the next decade of your life.